Can we just acknowledge that James Harden have become another NBA journeyman? And I knew that this would happen. This is the destiny of all isolation scorers. Isolation scorers in the NBA, for the most part, eventually become NBA journeymen if they do not learn how to score off of rotation. And this is the case with James Harden. He's now an NBA journeyman. And for those of you who have been living under a rock and haven't realized this, James Harden is now officially playing for the Los Angeles Clippers as he was traded from the Philadelphia 76ers. Throughout the entire NBA offseason this past summer, and even through the early part of this regular season, as it's still early within the NBA regular season right now, James Harden have been having issues with the Philadelphia 76ers organization, demanding that he be traded, wanting to leave, not getting along with the Sixers general manager. Yeah. I mean, the same thing that he did when he was in the Brooklyn Nets and the Houston Rockets, demanding to get traded, Yeah. But can we just acknowledge that he is now another NBA journeyman, going from team to team? And like I said, this is the destiny of almost all isolation scorers in the NBA who do not learn how to play or score off of an actual team play or an actual rotation. Yeah. Why? Because isolation scorers, although it's great to see them play, although they attract a lot of fans to watch them play, a lot of times isolation scorers do not lead teams into becoming elite. All right. For the most part, that does not happen. You see, and then once they get older, teams finally realize that, and they trade these types of players. I mean, you saw the case with Carmelo Anthony, who after he left the New York Knicks, what happened to him? He just became an NBA journeyman, playing, going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, to the what's that team called? To the Houston Rockets, and then getting cut by the Rockets, then getting signed by the Portland Trail Blazers, then going to the Los Angeles Lakers, to now no team in the NBA desired to even sign him, even though he still have a little gas in the tank. And this is going to be the unfortunate ending. This is going to be the unfortunate fate of James Harden, as I think he's 34 now, so he is on the verge, or not on the verge, but he is right now reaching his decline as an athlete. This is going to be his fate. And I don't think that him being in the Los Angeles Clippers is actually going to make the Clippers into a top-notch Western Conference team, even though right now the Clippers has the 6th seed in the Western Conference, which is good. Of course, this Clippers team is going to make the playoffs. They have what it takes to make the playoffs, but just like the Phoenix Suns, I don't see this Clippers team going past the second round of the playoffs when come playoff time in, April, May, June of 2024. Especially when especially when you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who's injury prone, and Russell Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook. I mean, this guy does not actually improve the chemistry of the team. I mean, yeah. I mean, he is playing good right now, but that's for now. And at the same time is if all four of these players are healthy and all four of these players are starting players, none of them are going to ride the bench. James Harden is not going to refuse to go back to his Oklahoma City Thunder days and come off of the bench. So when you have players like James Harden and what's this other guy, Paul George, on the same team who play the same position and who both are starting players, how are you going to adjust the team? Since the Clippers have Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a natural small forward. Paul George is a swingman who could play both the shooting guard and the small forward position. James Harden is a natural shooting guard. And Russell Westbrook is actually a shooting guard who's forced to play the point guard position throughout most of his career, right? But nonetheless, he's a starting point guard for the Clippers. So once again, like I said before, these four are all-stars or were all-stars. They're used to being the starting player of a team. They're not going to ride the bench. So how do you make that work if you're the coach of the team? What you going to do? You're going to have to put Kawhi Leonard. You're going to have him start as an undersized power forward and then place Paul George in the small forward position. Thus, you're going to have room to have James Harden as the starting two guard or the starting shooting guard for the Clippers, which that's a bad idea. I don't think that as great as Kawhi Leonard is, right? As great he is when he's healthy, I don't think that he'll be that effective playing the power forward position, especially when he's undersized. Kawhi Leonard, I don't see Kawhi Leonard being very effective. Even though Kawhi Leonard is a great defender, he's a great defender, but I don't see him being that effective if he's defending against a 7-foot power forward. Kawhi Leonard is like what, 6'7", 6'8". So if he's the starting power forward in the Clippers and he's guarding another power forward that's 6'11", 7 feet, nah. I don't care how great of a defender he is, that's going to be a bad mismatch. So that itself is bad for the Clippers in itself. Not only that, but James Harden will not be able to be that isolation scorer that he wants to be unless if Paul George and or Kawhi Leonard is injured and they can't play. Therefore, the Clippers will have no choice but to rely on James Harden's isolation scoring. But just like I predict about the Phoenix Suns trio will eventually split, I think this LA Clippers quartet will eventually split. It's not going to work out. But I believe with this LA Clippers quartet of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, I think by the end of this NBA season, you'll see the Clippers will get rid of James Harden and James Harden will go to another team because James Harden is an official NBA journeyman. And like most NBA journeymans, they don't last more than one season in a single team. And once again, if my prediction about this is incorrect, then you guys have every right to come and check me because, like I said before, unlike most YouTubers or unlike most people on YouTube, I am not afraid to admit when I'm wrong.